Pelicans win 117-107 over the Rockets. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This podcast is sponsored by the Birdsall Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Boot Krewe Media, located at 918 Porter Street by the Superdome. Give them a call at 504-523-5413. If you or someone you know has been involved in an accident, Birdsall Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Boot Krewe Media. Chaz 5. Lito joining us tonight. Lito, I'm going to start with you. You've been wanting this all year. You've been wanting it all year. They gave it to you tonight. They played through JV through 4 quarters. There was a moment there in the fourth where I was like, oh, we're doing the whole ISO dribbling thing. But you know what? They learned. They played through JV, and they come out victorious.
What number game is this?
71.
71.
Am I supposed to be excited about that? In game 71? Like, is it supposed to make my night? I mean, if anything, it just makes me more upset because you could have been doing this. The record, the tempo, the temperature of the team could have been a lot different. He's a steadying force. He's a guy who he doesn't need a lot. Like literally, hold on, how many shots did he get? He had 12 shots. He had 21 and 12.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be excited? Am I supposed to be excited that they did? Am I supposed to be excited that I saw something that the coaching staff should have been doing 70 games ago?
I'm trying. Let's bring in Chaz then. If we're being negative, fuck it. Just bring in Chaz. I mean, Chaz, what you think about tonight?
In general?
Yeah, in general.
I didn't think it mattered, honestly. I didn't care what happened tonight. After they already failed. Once they lost that game, this whole trip was a failure. So organization is a failure. Staff is a failure.
Can they bounce back from it, though? Can they bounce back if they get the next 2 at home?
No, they did. They were in a dogfight with an actively tanking team. Jalen Green had 40 points tonight. He has as many 40-point games as a guy making $30 million named Brandon Ingram. And they're not even trying to win. So it's just pathetic. It's a pathetic thing all across the board. But they didn't even win tonight. They just didn't lose. Like they just didn't lose. It is what it is.
Jarrett, what do you got for me?
Listen, this is we know this story. We know how this is gonna go. Like, oh, they're gonna go back home and they're gonna win a game they're not supposed to win, and they're gonna be right back. But again, as I said, 2 days ago, the process is broken. There's nothing that's gonna change that process between now and then. It's probably best to get to the off season. Bringing Zion back prematurely is just gonna bring. I don't know if it's gonna bring any positive, right? All right, they can get in the play-in. They could get into the playoffs, but is that really success? I mean, Griff talks about sustainability. Like, is it really sustainable? They know it's not. At this point, it's not. And good, you got to win tonight. Great. But you didn't do what you were supposed to do in this road trip. And that's what makes it really not really a great feeling.
What's really tough about this? First of all, Jalen Green had 40 on 22 shots, which was crazy. But like the hard thing about this, especially like talking about the team, is like, bro, like I take no pride in the Pelicans' failures. I take no pride in it. Like, I want the team to be good, right? But it's hard because, like, people ask you questions and it sounds like you're coming off negative, but I'm really just giving you the reality. Like, this is really what happened. I'm not making any of that up. Like, these things are happening. Like, I want the team to be good, but the team is not being good. The difference between the reality, you know what I'm saying? You want me to just lie to you? Not you, Justin. I'm just saying per se.
No, I think it's important that y'all do speak y'all's truths. Like, this is why we had the show. But let me go back to you, Lito, because I was just talking about with Chaz. I'm gonna get Five's opinions too. Because say you do get on a run. Say right now we get on a run. Say you start hearing positive news about Zion coming back, even if it's for the last 4 games, whatever. I understand the conditioning, all that stuff. You're telling me you would not be excited to see this team in the playoffs. You would not
I mean,
I'm not saying successfully, right? Because there is a con to this, right? Because Chaz also mentioned, well, if they do that and fool us again, then do we not make any adjustments in the offseason? So
my exact words were, if it means that Brandon, Zion, and CJ are still on this team, I want the team to fail. If it
for
means
this year,
for this year,
because you think it needs to be changed.
If those three stay together, I don't want the playoffs.
That's fine. Okay, so lead it back to the original question, and then Chaz's.
I mean, I'm not gonna tell you wouldn't be excited to see Zion come back, but I also, again, the reality, the facts of the situation is, I know who the training staff is. I can't tell you that when he comes back, he's gonna be like he's not gonna have a long leash. And the other thing too is, I think both things can be true. I can be excited that Zion comes back. I can be excited that they make the playoffs, and I still want overhaul of the roster as far as certain players are getting rid of draft picks because we just don't draft well. So
can I cut you off right there? Because this show, I'm sorry, I had to cut you off because this show last offseason also said that we need to update the roster. We did not need to stand still. And they did. But go ahead. Finish your point.
That's a New Orleans classic. Standing still. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get a pothole in the street and you just put a cone in it. Like, you don't feel it. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, like, that pothole, it gets bigger. It gets bigger, and like this happened, you fall into that muff. Like that's what happens. Yeah, I want Zion to come back. I think Zion coming back is. I mean, you saw what this team was when Zion was healthy. Well, actually, you never saw this team technically together when Zion was healthy. You saw bits and pieces of Zion being the guy and Brandon being the guy and CJ being the guy, but you never. I think it was 10 games of it.
Yeah, 10 or 12. No, 10. Sorry.
Can I
Yep, go ahead.
This I don't want to see it, to be honest.
You don't want to see them in the playoffs or
No. I don't want to see Zion, Brandon, and CJ. I don't. That dream, that thought in my mind, it doesn't make sense, because when I see Zion and Brandon, if I see CJ and Brandon, it's all cluttered anyway. And then Zion's not a great shooter, so it's gonna tell me so, and they're not really dead eyes. I mean, CJ maybe, but Brandon's not a great 3-point shooter consistent. Like, he's not gonna get up 8 threes a game.
He's not.
That's not gonna. Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. Like, your eyes are telling you exactly. Like, you don't need some genius to tell you, like, yo, that's not gonna work. Like, no, you can predict that. So I think this season was given to Brandon, like, hey, this is your time to prove like your real value. And I don't think he did so. And I'm not saying he doesn't suck. Brandon Ingram does not suck in the slightest. I think we need to put him at a lower tier to, kind of raise what he could really be. At this point, he's not a number one. And we can know that. And that's okay. There's really good basketball players that aren't really true number ones. He getting paid like a number one guy, but he's not that, and that's okay.
Can I add on to that?
Yeah.
I think that's a yeah. So it was what, 2 years ago when people were saying that Giannis Antetokounmpo was Robin to Chris Middleton's Batman.
Some people said that.
Yeah, that was Max Kellerman, right?
It was a thing. It was
Max, a boxing guy, so
they was calling that man Robin, bro. But I will say this: I do think that the CJBI thing, I don't think it works. I think we can.
But why did it work a little bit last year then?
Because they played through they were playing inclusive basketball.
You think they've changed their style then?
Absolutely.
They were out rebounding teams like almost 2-1 at times.
Because they played bully ball, Jared.
Right. And you were able to, take the advantage on the offensive end. When you had Jonas, they were picking on Jonas, and that was okay because you were still out rebounding them and getting second chance points, getting more shots up. Yep. The issue is they don't play like that anymore. The style is different, and they CJ and Brandon play in the same area. It's just not going to work. CJ fits more around Zion than Brandon does.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's really like a process of elimination. BI is just an odd man out. That's it.
Do you think that you don't think that BI and Zion could work at all?
That's what I think CJ is the odd man out, in my opinion.
I feel like
it's Brandon.
I think if you move CJ to the 6-man role, which I think he would naturally excel in. Go ahead, 5. I'm sorry.
No. I'm listening to your question. Oh.
No. I just wanted y'all opinion on if you think that the BI Zion thing will work with, however you 1A 1B.
With CJ off the floor.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it could. But to be honest, what time I gotta be there for it to happen? Like what time I will be there to watch it? I just want to just let me know what time
you just don't know what's gonna right.
We've waited. How long you supposed to wait for the girl that's supposed to be your girl? Like, no, I ain't got that much time.
But I'm just saying though, without CJ with CJ off the floor, you put the ball in Zion's hands. Unselfish player, you get them in a 2-man game. You have a mid-range killer, then you have. I'm just saying. I know, Jared.
Let me say. Can I say this? If we would have seen BI and Zion on the court together, we wouldn't even need CJ. We wouldn't have needed him in the
We saw him in the Stan Van Gundy days, right?
Like we wouldn't know what these guys are. We didn't see it though. We didn't truly.
Man, look. Let's all right. Look, yo,
this man got a robe on.
It's just like
he got the robe with a red light.
I got my little candles, bro. I'm chilling. I'm chilling, right? I've been gave up on these dudes, but not, bro. Brandon and CJ just don't. I'm sorry, Brandon and Zion don't work, and they don't work because Brandon can't shoot. Brandon doesn't attack the.
Come on.
Can he shoot? What's he shooting? Jan, all right. I'm so glad. Thank you for that alley, brother. Because I got notes. All right.
What the question was? I missed the question. I missed the question. What was it?
He said Brandon's not a good shooter.
He isn't. Justin, tonight in the fourth quarter, before Brandon hit that go-ahead 3, Brandon had 22 points on 21 shots. He ended the game with about 20. Let me see. I got the stats right here. Let me see. Brandon shooting almost cracked my screen. My phone. Hold up. Pull this up real quick. Brandon had 26 points on 24 shots. So
we're taking one game. We're gonna do one game over here. We're gonna take one.
We can go to the last Rocket game.
Hey, don't do it. Yeah, Justin, you're gonna lose that. You're gonna lose that, bro.
You're not gonna win that one. Brandon cannot. What I'm saying is that brand of basketball isn't a winning brand of basketball, especially not in a regular season. Okay, Zion draws. Let's say Zion draws 4 defenders, and he gives it to Brandon for a nice 17-foot jumper. It's still 2 hard-ass, difficult points in the dumb zone. It's a terrible brand of basketball. There's a reason why this team never went on major winning streaks with Brandon and CJ. But I'm sorry, with Brandon and Zion. That's just a terrible brand of basketball. They occupy too much of the same space. Like I think if you had Brandon and Trey Murphy, you would probably win more games just because of the math equation. Or Brandon and Zion and Buddy Hield, Zion and Trey Murphy, Zion and fucking prime or old Pedro Stojakovic. Just because of the math equation. The brand of basketball Brandon likes to play is a playoff, slow, methodical 90s, early 2000s brand of basketball. You're not going to win many games in a regular season with him playing like that. That's why you're able to win. You got to think, even in that 7-game win streak that we holding on to, that's how low the bar is. It's not even bar. The bar is rebar. Like they put into the concrete. That's how low the bar is. Think about it. He did this mostly with no CJ and totally without Brandon. When Brandon and Zion and CJ were healthy, they looked bad. They didn't look good because they occupy way too much of the same space.
But Chaz, you're also on record saying that Brandon was a top 15 offensive player.
No. That's not what I said. I said I thought Brandon was a top 25 player with a top 15 ceiling. And this is before he went out, with the toe injury. Now I think he's probably a top 40-ish player. Because there's plenty of guys. If a random guy, there's so many random guys in the NBA that can just drop 40 on any given night because they can shoot threes. There's been several games this year where Herb Jones has shot and made more threes than Brandon. It's just it's not a great brand of basketball in the regular season, and those two offset each other's strengths, in my opinion.
I think so. So listen, I think Brandon shot 50% tonight from the field.
Yeah, 12 of 24.
So look, you said something to me that like is on point. You said that Brandon plays a slow, methodical style of offense, which to me is where the clash comes in for the team. He wants to play a half court style of offense. They want to play 0.5 offense. You can't do both. Like, what are we doing? And then a lot of times I feel like the coaching staff
preacher.
I feel like the coaching staff they have done Brandon a disservice with playing that type of style. Like it did. All right, for instance, I don't know if you say Zion the best player, cool. If you say Brandon the team's best player, cool. I do think that Zion should be the guy on the team. But if the guy on the team is not out, and we got to go with the guy who is the best person on the team at this moment offensively, I think we should switch to. I think we should probably lean towards what he has the advantage at.
Can I intersect for 1 second? I'm gonna throw it to you. I just want to say this. That would be 5 of 7 coaches that have done Brandon a disservice. Right? Wait, look, I got some notes here. Anytime Brandon plays bad, it's number 1, Zion's fault, because Zion's not there. Number 2, he doesn't have spacing. No one else in the NBA is double teamed. Number 3, Chaz has an agenda against Brandon. Number 4, the refs don't give Brandon a call. No one else is fouled. No one else gets, hacked or whatever.
After number 5, let's get to 5.
Number 5, Griff, roster construction, injury rust, and the other team is defending him too hard.
Good.
It's always someone like it's never the fact that this man can't shoot threes. He doesn't attack the rim. He has a slow first step. It's none
Jared,
of those things.
Go ahead, Jared.
I'm gonna lean into what Lito was talking about. It's a clash of styles, and the Pels are fighting themselves rather than fighting the other team. Like not like physically,
Yeah.
It's like the roster construction. Like you got a belly of talent, but you haven't put the right coaching system around it. Right? Willie Green wants to play 0.5 fast basketball, but Brandon is a decent facilitator. Okay, cool. He works better with JV rather than CJ because it's slow, right? He can outthink you. He can make the right play when necessary, right? And JV is limited, right? He's trying to play in the post, so he's gonna play at the top of the key, and that's really simple. But CJ is different, and with this 0.5 basketball mentality, you also have to play smart. I don't think the coaching staff does the team a really, positive when they just let them just play. It seems like they're playing pickup. I don't think the team is, coached well enough to do so, to run sets, or just know where your advantage is. So that's where it kind of gets lost. You want to play fast, but you have slow thinking players. So that's
can I add one point to that,
Yep.
and then we can move on, right? So to Five's point, right? JV and Brandon play really well together, right? Yes, because it creates a lot of space for Brandon having a 7-foot, 280-pound man set a pick for him.
Yeah.
Right? Like he has so many options he could go off that. And again, to Five's point, he's an adequate. I think he was 25, 7-7 last year. Why would this coaching staff go away from the thing that worked to get you into the play? Regardless of whoever you want to put it on, that's my whole problem with the scheme is the problem.
So then you put it on the staff. So then you're putting it on the staff.
Yeah, because I don't think the players got worse.
Wait, say again, Five?
My bad. I don't think the players got worse. To be honest, I don't think the
the staff got worse.
Yes.
Because number 1 came back and they had to readjust on what it took them time to figure out how to use Zion correctly, right? I think you finally saw them use Zion correctly in game 29 against the Suns.
When JV set a pick for him. JV set a pick for him.
So then he goes out and they got to readjust it.
That's what I mean. No matter who's in the lineup, the offense should look the same, and it doesn't. That's the issue. Imagine, like, Chaz, you like boxing.
2 different play styles.
Yeah.
Like, imagine like everybody ain't Bud Crawford. Like you can't be switching styles in the middle of a fight. You're not like that yet. You be Tank. Be that. If you won't be that, just be that. And then no matter who you fighting, they'll have to adjust to you. This team wants to be everything but itself. But they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Chaz
What?
or
What?
Lito, whoever.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. The coaching staff is the problem. Yes. The coaching
I
staff
feel
is
I feel like because the question I would really have to pose is like, all right, even with Brandon and JV, if you slowed everything down to a crawl, could you win when everyone else is getting up and down the floor and
I
hitting
think you could.
threes? And
I think you could, Chaz, because they have to play to your style. That's
no,
why they were
don't.
successful in the second half of the year last year. I mean, like,
but here's the thing. They weren't successful. They were better.
I said second half of the year. I said second half of the year. I didn't say their overall record. So that's why they were successful in the second half of the year.
Okay. All right. Look, like again, when has he ever done it? When has JV ever done it? When is
What do you mean?
when is Brad?
He had a 30-point playoff performance in Game 4. What are we talking about here?
That's awesome, but that's the playoffs. We're talking about the regular season. When has
that's what my argument is you got to play a certain way during the regular season, and then there's a switch. But you guys got to get to the playoffs to play that way. You can't play like that during the regular season when Cash is just running and getting shots up. And if you're not athletic enough, go ahead, Chad.
No, go ahead, Bob.
I'm just saying, if Cash is not like athletic enough or smart enough to, you should be good enough to go on 7 to 10 game win streaks in a season. You should be. This team should be good enough, but they aren't. They only went on 1 and they lost 10. That's my issue. The 10-game losing streak. You cannot go on a 10.
Yeah, we all said that. But you had the excuses, Jarrett, right? Well, Brandon's coming back. Brandon's out. CJ's tired. All this stuff. Exactly. It does not matter.
There's a reason a guy like Russell Westbrook can carry a team to the at one time for years by himself can carry a team to the playoffs and get into the playoffs and look bad. Because, bro, it's just in a modern day basketball when everyone else can run and jump, if you can't finish over Sagoon or through these dudes, and like if you can't do that, then you're gonna have a very difficult time scoring because everyone else is running up and down the floor, hitting threes, dunking, drawing contact, getting to the line, and you taking you dribbling 18, 19 seconds off the clock for a nice free throw. Like you're not gonna win the math. Not gonna work.
So we've been overall pretty much nailing the coffin. Season done. I don't think the season's done, but that's just me.
Who said that? Nobody said that.
Hold on. I mean, guys, you're talking about tanking. Zion don't need to come back. This doesn't matter.
We're just saying.
Okay, go ahead. No, Five. Go ahead.
We're just saying, bro. It's just
something needs to change. This is going to be my segue.
Yes, and they don't want the team shouldn't look at this like that. And I think Chaz and Lito are saying if this team goes into the playoffs and wins, like, we're gonna run it back just like this.
Right.
No, don't do that.
So this is why I'm gonna segue right into this, Lito. We'll go with Lito, Chaz, and Five. Then what is the one main thing, if you can pinpoint it? I know there are multiple holes, but what is the one main thing you want to see changed in the offseason?
The coaching staff.
Does that mean Willie Green or does that mean the staff?
Not necessarily Willie. I think the assistants need a refresher. I think that Willie has to get people who have his best interests at heart. Like as far as not saying that these guys don't have his best interests, but I think that maybe they're limited in what they can do offensively, defensively. Like, I also think this team needs to pick a style, stick to it, play that style. With that being said, if we want to move off JV, but get a center that you feel comfortable playing in whatever space you want him to play. Right? I think CJ needs to move to the bench. I think that I don't know, like. This Zion,
now you're getting crazy on me. I said.
I'm just saying. I feel like I'm just saying. I think that would be in the best interest of him and the team because he could literally come in the game and be a gunner. He could be himself. He don't gotta fit into. For instance, everybody has him in this point guard type mode, right? Like he could come in the game as a 6-man and he ain't got to get nobody involved. He could get 30 if he wants to off the bench because it wouldn't affect the chemistry of the other 5 guys. Like he's gonna be playing with the others, who's ever here, Najee, Jax, whoever. I'm just saying, like he could literally just come and do that. They got to figure out the B.I. Zion thing. Like he can't miss 50. He can't miss 50. Like you got to figure that out.
Chaz.
I think
One
you got to
biggest
break.
thing.
I think you got to break this team up. I think you can extract the most value from Brandon. I don't think Willie has enough respect in the locker room for like, even if he got like a bunch of staff changes, no one, like, just keeping it real, no one really, like, nobody respecting Willie like that. So I think if you keep probably one of the main culprits on this team, it just ain't gonna work out. It ain't gonna go good at all. So you gotta look, you gotta break that up.
So you
Like,
want
you
this?
gotta,
So you
gotta
want
break that up,
roster
man.
broken up? You
have to. You have to.
Okay. 5.
Man, I guess a combination of what Lito and Chad said. Like you gotta. I think I said this a couple shows ago. Man, surround Zion. Like in the best interest of Zion because that's your best chance of winning.
So to combat that, right? If I don't mean to cut you off. So you're gonna invest all these players, right? Built around an injury prone player. So that's the risk you're willing to take.
Heck yeah, because I know it. Like you gotta risk it, right? Because that's your best chance at winning, right? Like that. Teams look forward to that. Like, what the Lakers did, they surrounded LeBron with everything he wanted and needed. I'm not saying they're gonna win, but at least they're trying to do that. I mean, every team gets a star player and then revolves around them. The offense revolves around them. What's beneficial to them. What the Warriors did for Steph, like they surrounded an offense that was built around him. Everything's around him, even though it looks exactly the same when he isn't on the floor. It still revolves around him as if he's there. So I think the Pels should look at that, find players that fit a mold that help Zion, that can shoot, run, defend. That's what you need, and look forward for that.
No, look, I think y'all all make fair points. To Chaz's point too, and then like you 5 kind of piggybacking on it. Like you got to get shooters and athletes around Zion. If you're going to build around Zion, that means you got to get guys that can shoot the basketball. You see, I don't know. I don't have it off the top of my head. I don't know if anyone does. Maybe Chaz might have this, but I think like the Zion Trey Murphy 2-man game was like one of the best duos, or like one of the like highest percentage like makes in the league.
Even from just the eye test, it was an incredible.
Like
duel.
you can't because you couldn't defend it because he could shoot, and then Zion would get the mismatch on the block and go to work.
It's the gravity. It's the gravity of both of those guys. Like
and
you can push Trey out so far.
In my head. I have this thought in my head because that's what Herb was getting like so much flack for, right? Herb was just in the corner. I'm like, that's like your prime spot. You're putting your worst 3-point shooter there. Of course he's going to get exposed. And that's why I hated all the hate towards Herb, because that ain't his job. Like, I don't think Herb's a 3-point shooter. Some of y'all do. And that's what was infuriating to me, is that you had Zion with all this gravity going downhill, kicking out to Herb Jones when it should be like a Trey Murphy, CJ McCollum, etc.
Hey, Justin, you know what that sounds like?
Coaching staff problems. The scheme.
Yeah. We're in a pyramid scheme right now, fellas.
It's a Ponzi.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to the Ponzi. Listen, I think this team probably would love to have Zion on the court, right? We would love to see what that looks like, but it's not happening right now. And
Right.
what we have, right? Like what we have right now is what we have. So,
right.
It doesn't look appealing. I wouldn't want to move forward doing the same thing again. It's time. Like the project is over. The experiment is over. Let it go. Start up a new hypothesis.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't win with Brandon, CJ, and JV, Herb, who's incredible defender, Trey, great shooter, what's the point? Like you shouldn't be this bad. So that means either 1 or 2 or the entire staff or someone here is a major problem. So there's a leak in the boat. So you it's best to just be like, all right, look, don't go out there and keep trying to plug the hole in the boat. No, let's just get out. Let's go dock, reassess the situation.
Nah,
And,
let that boat.
Can I put something out
swim your
there?
ass back to shore.
Can I put
Go
something
ahead.
out there? And then we'll close up with this. What if they stay pat this offseason? What are y'all gonna say? What if they just stay pat? Seriously, what if they don't make a move?
I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I think Trajan is awful. I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Five leaving.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I'd be infuriated. I wouldn't be shocked.
Right.
Shocked?
Right.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I'd be pissed. Like, come on now, dog. You gonna try to read the same story again? You gonna try to run it back? Like, no. Like, you know what? Is the game winning a championship? Is that the game?
That's what Brandon said in the press conference.
Well, there is one thing though. If they look so bad to end the season that they don't have any, like, their value takes a hit and they want to repair some value this during next season, then I'll be like, maybe. But other than that,
you don't trust them to even make the right decision doing that. You don't even trust them to do that.
Well, you know what? I trust Griff to make a big trade, but for us hitting singles, don't trust him.
He definitely a seller. He a seller.
If he had to like sell, I think he can extract a lot of value. His problem is he always wait too late.
Yep.
And it's just, and that's when he takes a hit.
Yeah. You know, that rumor of, us maybe getting Vanderbilt and Beasley. I don't know how true that is. Lito, I think you're muted.
I saw people saying you can't make trades with people who don't want to trade with you, right? Bro, for what Griff is sitting on as far as like the picks, the war chest, it's not a deal to me that like you can be told no to. It's not a deal you can be told no to. Like you're the golfer, right? You can make any offer that they can't refuse. You can. And here, you know what? Forget Griff. Let me say this. Shout out to Trey Murphy. 10 threes in the game. I don't care how many he made. But 10 threes in the game, I'm with it, dog.
Great defense, too. He played some really good defense.
He was doing his thing.
Keep looking folks off.
Fine. I was just about to say that. My favorite player tonight, oh my God, you read my mind. My favorite player tonight is when he brought the ball up court and he looked at who was at him to the left. He saw who was to the right. And you know what he said? Fuck that.
I'm shooting this.
3 of 10 tonight. But I think AD even said something on the broadcast 5 about how Trey's been, really launching him. It's what we've been wanting to see.
That's it. That's the only critique I got for him. Only critique I got for his game is to keep shooting. And I'm sorry, the coaching staff don't trust you. Like,
but we saw some good defense. I thought CJ had a couple plays. That transition rip CJ had, especially knowing how bad his thumb is. I thought that was probably one of the defensive plays of the year, considering the injury. Dyson had some really nice blocks, but Dyson been so bad he ain't got no credit no more. But
shout out to BI too. Shout out to BI. 9 assists. 9 assists.
Shout out Herb Jones.
Should have had more.
Shout out Herb Jones. Shout out Herbert.
Yeah, Herb is unheralded. Yeah, Herb is the best fast break player we have. Herb is.
I'm telling you, you want to talk about untouchable? I'm going on record. Herb Jones is untouchable. What's Chaz? What's the picture? The not on Herb with the knife.
Oh yeah. Cut it on. Like, not benching Herb. Well, he's untouchable, but
we're shooting 40%, 39% from deep in the month of March.
Bro, listen, he shot 50% from 3 tonight. Like,
that's incredible, especially for a guy like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing is though, dog. Like, if you put him in motion, you get him involved in the action, and just don't have him standing in the corner. So when he does shoot them shots after getting a couple layups, after like getting a couple touches, it feels natural.
5, you notice he's had the ball at the top of the key more. Like he's brought it up a little bit more, and
I don't know what show brought that up a couple times. I don't know
who that was.
I mean, I don't know. You know them people, the good folks.
Like I heard him.
Play through JV.
Yeah.
Pels get the Spurs Tuesday. I think Hornets Thursday. Might be the other way around. Presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. No, the official sports betting partner of Boot Krewe Media. Use code BOOT, bet $5 on any NCAA college basketball game. Get $200 of free bets by using code BOOT. Also, Covey Burger located at 4600 Ferret Street and the Rusty Nails / Sidecar Bar. Chaz, 5, Lido, out of here. We're going to see y'all on
Time Company Burger closed, man. I might need one.
I think it's closing like around like 9:30.
No.
See y'all.